Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm Leanne, and this is Alan, and we're here, as you've seen from the title card, with our reactions to WWE's latest premium live event, Backlash.
Premium.
It's so they say. So this took place on the 10th of May, 2025, in St. Louis, Missouri. So if you've seen this channel before, you know we do predictions for these premium live events and pay-per-views as well. So I'll put a link somewhere on the screen to our predictions for Backlash. And of course, as always, as a reactions video, we're going to be talking about results and what happened during the show. So if you're planning to watch it, not that we'd recommend it, if you're planning to watch it and haven't yet, go do that first and then come back. And obviously, I've just spoiled my general opinions of the show, so if you're not here for that, completely get it. Thanks for watching this far.
Okay.
But to see more, we carry on. Did I just ruin the video right from the start? Probably.
Wow.
So we open up with our usual wrestlers entering, and then a general recap build-up package for the show. And then we do get straight into our first match of the show, which is the Fatal 4-Way between LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. I don't think I was expecting this to be the first match.
No.
But it's a nice way to start off. It's quite a...
I don't know, I would have got Gunther and Pat McAffee at the way myself, but there we are.
Yeah, but we want to, something to get the energy up and get things moving. So it's an interesting start, I suppose. And this wasn't a bad match overall. There's some interesting sort of story development.
It did get slow in places, which was like...
Yeah. We started off with...
A 4-way should never slow down.
No. We immediately, as soon as the match started, we split up into pairs anyway. Yeah. So you had McIntyre and Priest, and then Fatu and LA Knight separately. I think it was McIntyre... Hang on, no. I'll carry on. So... I don't know where I am.
Apparently she can't read her notes today.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So they split up, and it's quite a lot of that. There's more 2-on-2 than sort of all going at it. But there were moments where they all came together. And
that's what I like about a 4-way, is constant frenetic energy, and there was none of that in this, in my mind.
They did have I guess there was one moment where you had the finisher run where
one moment.
One moment you had
it wasn't even that.
Someone hitting their signature move.
Everyone was hitting their finishes, and that was it. And that was probably 5 to 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes before the end of the match.
Yeah, it was.
Because I mean, you've got the bit with after that is when Drew and Priest go to the outside, and we'll obviously you've got that on your notes somewhere.
Yeah, because we had Drew hit LA Knight with a claymore and gets him in a pinning predicament, but Priest, as he would,
yank,
pulls the ref out before he can count to 3. McIntyre is not happy with this. You can see both sides. It's legal because there aren't any DQs, and Priest is aiming to not lose himself. It's not about necessarily spoiling it for one particular person. McIntyre obviously will take it personally because he was about to potentially win.
Yeah, and Priest saving the match for himself.
So yeah, I can see how this works. This feels quite a natural kind of reaction from both guys. And then they brawl to the outside into the crowd. They get onto the stack of crates in the crowd, and we have Damian Priest hitting us south of heaven through some tables.
Off of the crates,
yeah. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice.
There was a bit of nervousness because it looked like Drew hit his head pretty hard. Apparently in the post-show, Triple H said he's fine. Damian apparently knocked a tooth loose.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Okay. It's a risk of the business. What else did we have? We have LA Knight sitting Jacob Fatu on the announce table. Always feels a bit unnatural. You get the Knight hits Fatu onto the table, so he's his torso is on there, and then he just lifts his leg up himself. Weird. It's like, come on. At least have LA Knight lifting his legs up rather than doing it himself and getting himself on the table. But there we go. But before Fatu can hit the move on before Knight can hit the move on Fatu, Solo Sikoa turns up and pulls Knight off. Knight goes to attack Solo Sikoa and is hit by someone in the crowd.
Wearing a hooded jumper.
and who is...
I'm like, oh my God, it's Jeff Cobb!
Yes, this was your highlight of the
Yeah,
show.
like, oh my God, Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
Well,
is in
highlight in a
WWE.
sense, but also not a highlight because I don't think he'd be used well in WWE.
Yeah, a bit of a, oh no, why? But he's there. Jacob Fatu looks very confused and quite unhappy with this development.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot before, the run-up to the match was a lot of Fatu Solo trying to say, we need a strategy, we need to make sure you get this, and Fatu saying, we don't need a strategy, you got me, I'm going to do it. And then there's obviously some strategizing happening behind Fatu's back, which is going to lead to some interesting potential story developments within that faction. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But bringing Jeff Cobb in, that's big.
Yeah. So off that, although Fatu isn't very happy with it, he gets LA Knight into the ring, finishes him off with a moonsault, and pins LA Knight to win and retain the United States Championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an alright starter. Starts off with some excitement.
Decent. Yeah. So I still feel it could have been a bit more frenetic, a bit more quick-paced.
Definitely agree.
There was way too many downtimes during this match.
Yeah.
There was a point where Jacob Fatu hit the Samoan drop on Damian Priest onto the barrier, which looked pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa, okay, the barrier didn't move. It's like, oh my God.
We've seen a lot of people going through that barrier at the timekeeper's area, but not like onto it. It doesn't budge.
Yeah. For the uninitiated of you, wondering who, actually, before we get that, we both predicted Jacob Fatu to retain, and we both got that correct. Jeff Cobb is a New Japan guy. He's been in New Japan for years. He's part of the United Empire. Crowns up. And he's just obviously recently left New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he was teasing retirement.
Yes.
So he did put Then Now Forever up a couple of weeks ago on his Twitter feed. Then he put, I'm going to spend some time in my retirement from wrestling. And then all of a sudden, here he is, a Backlash.
So do you think the Then Now Forever thing was too obvious, and it's like, I'm gonna have to like hide it, so he's teased the retirement to get people second guessing?
Yeah, I think so.
It kind of worked, but it is a bit of
I mean, I second guessed it. Is
this the best move? It's money. Being in WWE is money, and if that's what he needs right now, great. And he's with Fatu and Solo.
But imagine him going to AEW.
I know.
With Will Ospreay, former leader of United Empire, and obviously down the line, Kyle Fletcher will probably leave Don Callis. We could get an Aussie Open with Mark Davis back in AEW, along with Will Ospreay, and potentially could have been Jeff Cobb for United Empire in AEW. And I would have been all down for that. Yeah. It would have been like Bullet Club Gold, like a split faction of United Empire in AEW, and I would have been all down for that.
It's difficult because we don't know the motivations and the negotiations that go into these things, and all we can do at the moment is just hope that he gets a good showing in WWE.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
But we'll see. Time will tell.
I can't even say I'm optimistic. Yeah, skeptical. I can't even say I'm optimistic or cautiously optimistic because frankly, I'm quite not.
Yeah, we've seen what's happened to people who've been in this position before, but what can we do? This it's his choice.
And I just hope they do him right. Yeah, because Jeff Cobb's a beast.
Agreed. Okay, we get to filler. WWE shop ad, an ad for Old Spice, so that's fun. A promo for Night of Champions, which is on June 28th in Saudi, and a promo thing for the post-show, which happens after Backlash. And then our next match. So this one is Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. It's alright. It wasn't terrible. There were some moments that didn't make sense. Some sort of fumbles, I suppose, in it. And maybe not as, I don't know, Lyra had quite a good showing, but something felt off. And I feel like this whole, I'm going to say that a lot this whole show, because just something feels like it's missing from these matches.
Yes.
It was, I think the bit that really pulled me out of it, and I think it did the same to you, was Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch on the ground. Lyra could have gone for the pin, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
She sort of turned around to go and climb the ropes, changed her mind, and then went for a pin attempt. And then after that failed, went for the ropes again. So it feels like it's...
She goes to like a moonsault and Becky gets her knees up. Yeah, so that felt really janky.
It's like, it felt a lot like a predetermined sequence.
You go for the pin, then you go to the ropes, then you'll do the moonsault, then I'll get the knees.
Yeah,
and it's
so she got it a bit wrong, but then she tried to correct rather than keep going.
Tell me wrestling is predetermined without telling me wrestling is predetermined. Watch this match.
Exactly. It pulls you out, which is a real shame. Lyra's been excellent. She's been so good and has a lot of talent. But that moment, in hindsight, she's probably thinking the same, that she should have just climbed the ropes. Becky will adjust, go forwards, rather than make a really obvious change of mind in a place that doesn't make sense. So it's a real shame. But some highlights, we had Lyra with the surfboard on Becky Lynch, and she did it 3 times, which I can't imagine the amount of control that needs.
She did a pendulum as well, which I haven't seen for a while.
She did a pendulum. So she's really showcasing like what she can do, and that's excellent, because as a champion, she needs to keep that momentum going and show that she's not going to go stale or anything.
That's quite old school technical kind of wrestling. That one, you don't see them very often. Bryan Danielson was the last one to sort of use the surfboard and the bow and arrow as well. Yeah, which you don't see very often either. You see him. You see him not regularly. We've seen semi-regularly in New Japan, because they are quite held like more like a sport and more of a back to the old basics of wrestling that were in New Japan. But yeah, you don't see in WWE.
Yeah. Another moment. So for sandwiching this as bad moments and good moments. The ref in this one. I know she's doing what she's told, but oh
Jessica
my goodness. So Becky tries to bring a chair into the ring. Ref spots her, takes the chair, and goes to put it on the outside, as always, turning her back on the person who's trying to do things wrong. So Becky takes a turnbuckle pad off. This is fine. Lyra kind of almost goes into it, but doesn't, in a bit of a weird moment. But this is fine.
I don't think she was close enough.
No, I think so. But then Ref spots the turnbuckle's gone, stops Becky from hitting Lyra into it, and then leaves the ring to duck down to get the turnbuckle pad, and then go to put it back on, in doing so missing a pin attempt by Lyra on Becky. Why? Focus on the match. I don't think I've ever seen, in all the years of seeing wrestlers remove a turnbuckle pad, I don't think I've ever seen the ref trying to put it back on themselves.
They just leave it there. Oh,
leave it there. Keep an eye on it, because you know something could go wrong. But keep an eye on the match, because that is your job. That's what you're doing. And the commentators are saying, "Oh, she's just doing her job." She was literally not doing her job.
She's a referee, not part of the ring crew.
Yeah, no. If anything, call for some ring crew to put it back on while you continue refereeing, because that is the job. So, no disrespect to her. I know she was doing what she's meant to in storyline, but weird choice.
That feels really janky.
So that pulled me out
of place, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, tell me it's predetermined without telling me it's predetermined.
Yeah, and then just to top it off, pretty soon, way too soon after that failed pin attempt because of the ref distraction, there's a back and forth of pinning predicaments, and then all of a sudden Lyra gets the pin, ref counts, and Lyra wins.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Which, it wouldn't have been so bad if that distraction hadn't... That was the finish, it's fine. If the distraction hadn't meant that Lyra failed at a pin attempt, it sort of makes that pointless.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
it did. The ending felt super flat, and I put this match was pretty mediocre because I felt it was mediocre.
Mm-hmm. It's the downs kind of outweighed the ups a bit.
Yeah, there was something going on. I don't know what it is. Something didn't gel right.
Yeah,
and it just fell flat.
Which is such a shame because of all of that showcasing that Lyra did. It's kind of it gets dampened down by those things happening, and it kind of loses its impact a bit. It's a shame.
Yeah. So the predictions you put down as technically a desired result for Lyra to win. So you got that correct. I thought Becky was going to take it. So yeah.
There we go. After the match, Becky puts the disarmer on Lyra after the bell until all of the many officials
Adam
come out.
Pearce comes out screaming at her.
Yeah, just yells in her face, and then they escort her out. They're fine. Filler. An ad
Angle's
for...
son was there too.
Oh yeah, he was. I think he's the one that actually
Jason Jordan
escorted her out in the
end. That's right.
I mean, he was always fun in a weird way. There's an ad for 2K25, this weird rewriting history of the bloodline kind of thing. I don't know. An ad for WWE LFG, which is a terrible name for a show, but okay.
Yep, looking for group.
Looking for group.
World Wrestling Entertainment looking for group.
Legends and Future Greats or something, isn't it? That doesn't make any sense.
They're trying to go into NXT.
Yeah.
Next.
It's just terrible.
I know.
And the ad for 2-night SummerSlam, 2nd and 3rd of August.
Oh, what a slog that's going to be.
I'm already exhausted. And then they show some footage of John Cena and Randy Orton, including their first match back in 2002 in OVW, which was interesting. And then a shout out for the music, which I missed who it was, and I don't care.
Some sort of thing off Black Ops 6. That's all
okay.
I got.
Yeah.
I got Detonator or something. The name of the song was something like that. I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
Unless it's metal, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah,
it's bad,
exactly.
Oh.
Unless it's real music.
Mm.
Yeah, I said
subjective opinions. And then we go on to our next match. So this is Penta versus Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. They have 2 Intercontinental Championship matches back to back then.
Yeah, I didn't notice actually. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. This again, something missing. Where was Penta this whole match? I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was something not quite right. I'm wondering. I think we talked about this during the match when we were watching it.
Yeah.
He might have. I think he took a bump and he might have clocked it. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was something nasty.
Yeah.
I think it was to the outside.
But it looked like he might have knocked himself a bit loopy.
Possibly.
Like rang his bell a little bit.
It really felt quite one-sided. Penta was still getting offensive moves, but it was like one move and then Dominik would be dominant for a few, and then Penta would get one in, and then
Dominant.
The crowd as well is just completely behind Dominik.
Yeah,
this,
that was off guard. That was like, wait, what?
I felt really bad for Penta. It's like he's come all this way from being like a really well loved star.
Tell me, Penta, is the grass greener on the other side?
I know. So yeah, this felt another bit of a miss this match, which is a shame. I think this was our most looking forward to.
Yes. I mean, you'd say that, but up to this point.
Yes.
Excuse me. Up to this point, good. It's still the best of the 3 matches we've had because there is still a pace to it. Yeah. There's still good techniques. There's still good moves being pulled off.
Yeah.
And Dominik is carrying this thing.
He is.
And if you'd gone back 2 or 3 years ago and told me back then that in 2 or 3 years' time, whatever it was, you'd be saying that Dominik Mysterio is carrying a match, let alone against someone like Penta, I would have said that I was crazy.
It's mental.
And yet here we are.
Dom hits the Oblivion.
I know that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
Oh, he's taking moves from his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's off filming something.
She's off filming Bad Lieutenant. I can't remember the subtitle. In Japan.
Yes.
With the legendary horror director Takeshi Miike.
Amazing. And the commentators are saying, "Oh, he misses her, so he's doing her moves." I'm like, "Oh, bless him." So Penta hits I think was it a Mexican destroyer, on the outside,
on the apron,
going to the outside.
Yes.
And then out comes Carlito.
Yep.
Because Dominik is down, and you also get Finn Balor and
so Carlito jumps up and distracts the ref.
And you got Finn and JD McDonough. Finn takes a little bit of time to get a chair.
Yeah, he kind of goes to Penta and he's like, "Let me get a chair." Walks over, grabs a chair. As he's turning around, ref's like,
"This is a time-sensitive intervention here, dude." So yeah, the ref catches them and does the whole "you're out of here" thing. Not that they leave, but okie dokie. So they're technically ejected. Penta goes up on the corner to hit a move on Dominik, who's now back in the ring.
Yeah.
And out comes...
out of nowhere. Yeah, out of nowhere.
El Grande Americano.
The WWE Speed Champion.
Who headbutts him, presumably with a steel plate in his mask.
You do kind of afterwards see him on the floor, like...
Yeah. Speaking obvious. And from that, Dominik hits a frog splash on Penta.
Can I just say that's probably one of the best looking frog splashes in the business today?
He's got a great frog splash. It's really good. And he pins Penta to win and retain the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
In
terms of predictions, we both got that correct. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Even though there was something missing from Penta, this was still, as I said, the best match of the 3 thus far. And then when Carlito comes out, and obviously you've got the storytelling between Finn.
Yes.
Is he trying to help Dom? Is he going to screw Dom? What's he going to do? He's gone for the chair. Is he going to make it? The ref's going to see him. And you've got this back and forth.
Yeah.
And then obviously you throw Grande Americano in the mix as well. And it's like, oh my God, this is just getting better and better and better.
Yeah. And like you said, with Dominik carrying the match, it's a real skill to have to be able to do that. Because if it was that Penta was a bit slower because he'd hurt himself, Dominik carried on the momentum and made sure it didn't stop.
Made sure he looked good as best he could.
So
and made sure he didn't injure himself.
Yeah. So it felt like there's something missing, but at least they didn't let that make it go wrong, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of credit to Dominik.
Dom's come really far, and I'm really... It just sounds bad. I'm proud of what he's doing, but I'm glad that he's getting this far and he's stepping out of his dad's shadow. I think we mentioned it on the predictions. And I think he's great. He's so good.
We've seen him from being really, really green, but still on TV and being like, why is this guy here, to this point? And that's he's come such a long way. And seeing that journey, it does feel a bit like we've gone on that journey with him.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. You don't get that very often. Okay, some filler then. Oh, the first one's an ad for Doom. So. Oh
yeah. No, I'm not for that. Yeah, Dark Ages out this week.
Yeah,
this coming week.
Really weird ad for Riyadh season.
They've shown this one before.
Yeah, but it feels weird because they're like specifically saying "Welcome to Riyadh season 2024."
So it's the opening ceremony for the season of 2024. So I'm guessing the opening season's coming up.
And then they're like showing a lot about Crown Jewel, even though this year Crown Jewel isn't going to be there anyway. I don't know. I know it's like,
for me, it's more of an advert for the upcoming season opener. So they could have another major event going on, and they're going, "This is what happened last year."
Yeah,
but they should have capped it off with happening this date or whatever.
Yeah, because they didn't actually advertise 2025. So it's a bit odd, but it's fine. It's just filler. Another Old Spice ad is a different one this time. A promo for Raw showing what matches are coming up on Monday night, which I didn't like. It was quite a few.
Finn.
They showed a
few. AJ and Finn War Battle Raiders against American Made.
And there was Rhea Ripley teaming up with...
with Io Sky to face Roxanne and Julia. That's right.
So that's fine. A promo for Saturday night's main event, including...
In 2 weeks' time?
Showing a bit of 40 years ago, I think it was.
Go on, tell them the match that was made.
I didn't even write it down.
Jey Uso defending against Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't write it down, because it's depressing. And then, I guess leading into the next match, they show the Karate Kid fan section. So they've obviously won some competition or something. I don't know. Cringy. And they're all in like their little headbands, Karate Kid headbands and stuff. It's like, oh, bless you. Are you embarrassed? God. I would be embarrassed.
I was embarrassed for them. I was dying of shame for them.
But that's the main sponsor of the next match. So, and that next match is Pat McAfee versus Gunther. It was fine.
Yeah, and stop being biased.
It was fine.
Was it?
It wasn't fine.
It didn't need to be here. It shouldn't have happened.
It is literally what I've written. It still feels pretty pointless.
So I want to point out the first thing that Cole said when this was all starting to go down, and I think it was just before Pat came out. For once, I'm going to have to be biased in my commentary.
You're here because you were biased in the commentary, dude. That's why you're here.
Why do you think this thing is happening, Michael Cole? Are you that deluded?
You literally said to a wrestler's face, well, I'm not the one who tapped out.
He's Delulu, or he's got dementia.
This whole thing annoyed me so much, this whole match. Both Michael Cole, the whole time, flip-flopping between, come on, Pat McAfee, you can do this, and pin him, Gunther, come on, end it.
Just get it over with.
Just flip-flopping. It's like, you're either worried for your friend, you want it to be over, or you want him to win. Pick one.
Yeah.
It's fair enough, maybe it's like, oh, it's trauma, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He's just getting on my nerves because it was constant the whole time. And then, the crowd. Are we wrong? Because the whole crowd's on Pat McAfee's side, and I'm like, nah.
Well, no, but it's pretty, I don't know what team he played for in America, but he played American football. So
true. He's like established or whatever.
I don't care. I almost had to bleep something out then.
We did. There was one bit. So we've got Pat McAfee's on the apron, and he's trying to like do the thing where you jump over the top rope, and he catches his foot. And I'm like, lol.
He literally falls to the ground.
But he stumbles to his knee, and then he keeps going. So credit to him. He didn't let that phase him, but it was still funny to watch. So I enjoyed that.
Tell me you don't belong in the ring without telling me you don't belong in the ring.
I just literally wrote Michael Cole's just getting on my nerves. And he's clearly getting on Gunther's nerves as well.
Yep.
There's a moment where he gets off commentary and is standing by the ring trying to...
Was this when he had McAfee and the Boston Crab?
I think so. And he's one moment saying, tap out, and the next moment saying, come to the ropes. Like, oh, come on.
Is he bipolar and he's instantly just constantly switching?
So, of course, then, Gunther grabs him by the scruff and brings him into the ring.
It grabs him by the tie.
Yeah, grabs him by the tie and the shirt. drags him into the ring. Doesn't manage to hit moves on him.
He was
'cause
literally
Pat
setting up
McAfee
for
gets him,
powerbomb, yeah.
But it would have been great to put him in a powerbomb. And then
That would
good
have made
old Michael Cole
that would have made this match the best match on the card.
scrambles out.
Shutting Michael Cole up.
Scrambles out of the ring and then is ducking down by the apron. Like, yeah, that's where you belong.
Dodged
Get
a
down there.
bullet there, Cole.
Jeez.
He's lucky because if he was in New Japan, Bullet Club would have run him dry.
Yeah, and then shortly after, Gunther has
I'm not
McAfee in a
biased.
pinning predicament, and Michael Cole grabs onto Gunther's foot to try and stop him being able to kick out. Didn't work.
Still kicks out.
And then obviously Gunther knows you've just grabbed his foot.
And he's still holding it when Gunther sat up, and he just stands up and he's just looking at Cole, and Cole's like, ah.
I think Gunther's reaction has saved this match a bit for me. He's just like, he's doing what he's meant to do, and of course he's going to be annoyed at Michael Cole. He's been a little fly, just buzzing.
It's like a little mosquito.
It's very annoying. Pretty much. Just poking and
That's
prodding
Michael
until
Cole
he
right now.
snaps.
Michael Cole and McAfee are mosquitoes.
I feel like I'm going to snap. Yeah, and then...
I'll move my chair a little bit.
So that's been a bit of back
Bye,
and
guys.
forth again, and oh dear me. Gunther puts McAfee in a sleeper. It goes on for quite a while.
It does.
McAfee changes colour,
He does.
manages
like a
to kind of almost get out of it, gets back into it, and then eventually passes out. So Gunther wins.
Whee!
I do feel like McAfee is going to be bragging that he didn't tap out,
Probably.
and it might lead to a rematch. I don't know. I hope not.
Don't
But
put that in the universe.
jeez. And then at the end, Gunther shows a sign of respect to Pat McAfee, and I'm like, no, do not respect that man. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. They don't have a handshake, but it's definitely a gesture. It's fair enough. Maybe that ends it. Line in the sand.
They just need to stop being impartial. As simple as that.
I mean, no one's saying you can't have an opinion, Michael Cole, saying that he's not allowed an opinion, but you've got to also be respectful of wrestlers on both sides.
And you've got to be impartial because that's part of the job.
You can yeet if you
That's-
want, but don't make a big thing of it.
That's like a judge in a courtroom not being impartial, not listening to the evidence.
Yeah.
They would be fired so quick.
And then quipping at the people, saying, well, I didn't know.
In terms of predictions, I predicted Gunther to win, you predicted McAfee to win, so I got that one correct.
I'm so glad I was wrong. Okay, some filler. So following that match and its main sponsor, we get a Karate Kid Legacy trailer. Then we get an ad for Wheatley American Vodka.
So good I drink in Italy, apparently.
Yeah. And then there's an ad for Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, which are taking place on June 7th.
It was weird. I never would have thought Cody was a vodka man. I always struck him as more of a bourbon. kind of
Yeah,
guy.
like a whiskey guy, for
Yeah.
sure. It's probably the money.
Mm.
He probably doesn't actually drink it. Who drinks vodka? No.
I'd imagine a lot of people.
Probably. But no, it's gross. Anyway, it's time for your favourite part of the
Leanne,
show.
be impartial against alcohol. Do your job.
The signs of the PLE. The signs of the PLE.
Play.
Not great this time around, but we got some signs, so it's all good. In third place. Sold my car for this seat.
No, he's
Which-
a referee guy, isn't it?
This is referee guy, which makes me wonder how many cars has he sold, because he's usually in the front row.
Plot twist, he's a car dealership man.
He's just sold cars.
Yeah, he's a dealer.
Because
He's a dealer.
If you're
guy
there
a
for
car.
every
car dealership.
PLE, that sign kind of loses all its impact. But that's why it's third place, not first.
Next
in
one's going to be I sold my child for this.
second place, Dominik is the first level boss.
Ooh.
I think it feels a bit like a compliment in the end, actually. He's moving up the ranks.
Means he ain't trash.
He ain't
He ain't
trash.
got the trash or
pretty
trash
good.
mobs.
And then this one, the number one, Razor Ramon's toothpick hits harder than you. It's good, right? That was Sign Guy. He also did the Dominik First Level Boss one. Sign
Okay.
Guy's always there. I don't agree with all of his signs. I don't get all of his references, but he's always there for me. So if that, Sign Guy, if you're watching,
Sign Guy.
let me know. I will send you something for winning Leanne Signs of the PLE. Leanne Signs of the PLE. Oh, and that brings us on very nicely to... our final
Is it
round.
over yet?
No. Instead, it's time for the main event. You're not with me on this at all, are you? You just want this to be over. This is Randy Orton versus John Cena for the Undisputed WWE Championship. So it's okay. It's a bit slow.
A bit.
The thing is, you've got two guys whose style of wrestling is fairly slow. And on their own, it's great. Together, it feels real slow. It feels real slow. He started off with Randy Orton being an idiot and trying to accept a handshake from John Cena and then getting poked in the eye for his troubles. But he did then poke back. So ref let it go because an eye for an eye, right? Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that.
Quite a lot happened in this match, which we will get to. I did quite enjoy. There was John Cena tried to hit the attitude adjustment, and he did, but at the same time took an RKO. There was a bit of a weird combo move that left both guys down, but it was quite interesting to see. They did a replay of it because the commentators did not get what just happened. There was something, so trying to be creative with their movesets. Ref bump then, so most of the match was quite standard, and then you get to the last, I don't know, quarter of it, and then the ref bumps start happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I say bumps? Yes, I did.
Spoiler.
So Randy Orton tries to hit an RKO. Cena pushes him off and pushes him into the ref. Ref's down. Cena gets the belt. I don't know what I've written there. Cena gets the belt, but Randy Orton hits the RKO and pins Cena, but ref is not there in time, so only counts 2. Ref bump.
Is this the new ref?
That's first ref. That was the first ref bump. So it's a failed pin attempt.
Gotcha.
Second ref bump. They end up on the outside. Orton's trying to hit Cena into the announce table. Cena pushes the ref into him, but misses, and the ref hits into the steel steps instead. Hits his head. You look confused.
Are we sure that it wasn't someone trying to push? But did Cena push Orton away from him and Orton hit the ref and the ref hit the steps? I don't actually remember.
The ref was trying to stop Orton from putting Cena through the announce table. And in the kerfuffle.
I get the feeling that the ref bump was not someone hitting the ref, because that would have caused a disqualification.
Possibly.
So
I mean, he was out. There was no one to disqualify him at that point. I may have missed.
Well, no, he stood back up, didn't he? And he turned and he got bumped.
The steel steps.
Yeah.
Ref did not stand back up. Ref was down.
Yeah, but carry on. I'm so confused.
I might have got confused. It might have been that Cena hit Randy into the ref, who hit into the steps.
That's what I think it was. Yeah.
It was a lot going on.
I'm not going to lie. I started flagging hard during this match, and I started drifting a little bit.
So ref is down. Ref is down for a good long time. No one comes to help this ref. Poor guy. Even the commentators saying he's been down for ages. So we're going to come help him. No one comes help him. Third ref bump. New ref. Nice. So Cena tries to hit Orton with the belt. Second ref gets hit with the belt. Yeah.
I think Orton ducks and was at the way or something.
Yeah.
And I called it. I said, the rest down there, he's going to get clocked with the belt.
Yeah, because this is while Orton is arguing with the ref because he thinks it's a 3 count, but it was a 2 count. So ref gets hit with the belt. And suddenly, I think this might be favourite ref, because suddenly you've got a load of officials coming out to check on ref number 2.
Come out, all the agents and whatnot, yeah.
Poor ref number 1, still on the floor from getting knocked out like 5 minutes ago. But ref number 2, they're all there.
It's the golden child.
So they're all just arguing, checking on the ref. And then Orton's pretty unhappy because it looks like the match is pretty much on stop at the moment. They're not letting him do anything. So Orton RKO's Nick Aldis and all of the officials that came out.
I think I've seen so many RKOs in one small period of time before.
And you think the last one that got RKO'd saw all this happening and decided to still stay and take it. He chose to take that RKO, that last guy. So no sympathy for him.
Oh, Jimmy Noble, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, they're all down. I think the ref's still down at this point.
Down at this point, yeah.
I think he's rolled to the outside now, so he doesn't get RKO'd probably.
Did they roll him out to the outside before the RKO Fest? I think so.
I can't remember. They might have done. Randy tries to hit a punt kick on Cena, who's in prime position, but out comes R-Truth, who gets in the way and saves Cena, and takes an RKO for his struggles, because obviously. Cena then hits a low blow on Orton and hits him with the belt. Then he puts him in the pinning predicament. I think it's ref number 1 gets back up.
Yes.
And counts to 3. Cena wins and retains the undisputed WWE Championship,
which we both predicted was going to happen.
Yeah.
Meh.
It was like slow, and then
how long was that match?
It
felt ridiculously long.
It did. It wasn't like the worst match I've seen. I don't think any of the matches on this show necessarily felt like a PLE match, which is a real shame.
The problem I had with that match was it was too convoluted. They got too many moving parts with the referees and all the agents and whatnot coming in.
It stopped making sense. I mean, have some consistency.
That was 27 minutes and 49 seconds. By far the longest match on the card.
But yeah, that was it. That was Backlash. It was alright, I guess. Shouldn't have been a pay-per-view.
Know what the best thing about Backlash was?
What?
It was 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
It was.
It was
short.
Under 3 hours for 5 matches. To me, it felt like the mid to late 90s pay-per-views.
Yeah.
In your house, all the Judgment Days. They were all under 3 hours.
Yeah.
And they were tight, and they kept going. Generally, there was maybe 6 matches on those cards, so it was a little bit more quick, let's move. But that's the only good thing about this. That and Dominik Mysterio carrying a match. And
the thing to note about I'm going to go back to the filler. There was a smaller amount, I think, than usual. But we're watching on Netflix, and every now and then there's just silence because.
Well, wasn't there a point where Wade Barrett goes, and this match is brought to you?
Yes, there was.
And there's just a crowd shot with silence, and there's no overlay because they're not allowed to show the advertising in different countries.
And another part where there was crowd noise, and then suddenly he's saying, I could do one of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was one Michael Cole, wasn't it? Yeah.
So there is filler that we're not getting. We're just getting crowd noise. And a lot of people watching probably got the same. But I don't know. So it felt like... So it is like... It has been more... Streamlined. But also a bit... Still quite filler heavy and annoying. But there we go. What can you do? They're trying their best, I suppose.
Least enjoyed match.
Pat McAfee, Gunther.
Didn't have any right being on the card. Pat McAfee doesn't belong in a ring.
Michael Cole's annoying as hell.
Michael Cole needs to shut the hell up.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Gunther versus Pat, that was just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite match?
I think it's Dominik and Penta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. Yep.
Like you say, even though it still felt like something missing, they still made it work. And Dominik deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the story going on with the Judgment Day, that's carrying on forward, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right. What's next then?
Oh goodness, have we got an AEW one next?
Correct. What's it called?
Revolution?
No.
Oh no, I don't
March. Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. I'm sorry, I can't keep track.
The finals of the Owen tournament will take place.
Yes.
I don't think they've announced many other matches at this particular point in time. Cool. But that's going to be in 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember what.
We've got a couple weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks time. It's on a Sunday. Thankfully, it is a bank holiday Monday in the UK. So we will not be working, so we can watch it without having to worry about spoilers.
Amazing.
Which is nice. After that, then there's going to be that double show thing, Worlds Collide, and then Money in the Bank. We're probably not going to cover Worlds Collide, but we will cover Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Probably.
We'll see.
We'll see. If the card's anywhere as bad as this one was, then we might need to evaluate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Takes away then.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you dealing with our moaning.
No. It's not moaning. It's truth telling.
Yeah, it's our opinion.
If you can't handle the truth,
get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like this video if you liked it. Hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Link trees in the description below, which will take you to Facebook, Instagram, and X. Talk to us there, or talk to us in the comments. If you have differing opinions to us, go ahead, let us know in the comments.
But be nice.
Be respectful. But we all have different opinions and different perspectives, so yeah, we'll be respectful also of you. So yeah, let us know. I think that's it. So until next time, stay out of the kitchen, I guess. Bye!
Club.